Decision Plus has been and still is a leading stock market service provider. From training to coaching, we cover it all. Try both our software as well as our coaching site, completely free for 10 days without obligation. No credit card is needed to sign up for the trial. The trial subscription will be automatically canceled for you at the end. DecisionPlus.com, your stock market service center. Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try MarketGurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above. Market Vision Plus is the trading companion of so many investors. Make your fundamental and technical analysis easy with Canada's #1 stock market decision-making software. Research, decide, and follow your positions with Market Vision Plus. See the menus just above this program and try Market Vision Plus for 10 days without any obligation after the show. When it comes to day trading, Trader Plus is the right tool. Track 50 quotes simultaneously. Create dozens of quick lists. Display as many as 30 real-time intraday charts at the same time. Watch the action with candlesticks or bar charts as fast as 10 seconds. See the market by sectors. Use the chart models already prepared for you. Try Trader Plus for 10 days in the menu above without any obligation.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Swing Trading Show. Today we're Tuesday, July 14, 2015. The question bar is open, folks, so if ever you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Today, folks, we have 2 major news. First news is concerning Greece, where finally the Greek government, well, the Prime Minister is facing a lot of pressure from his coalition in Parliament. We know that by tomorrow, the Greek government will have to vote on austerity measures imposed by its creditors, but so far a lot of people in its party say that they will not vote. So it's really actually a headache. If ever tomorrow they don't vote those measures, well then we could expect a plunge on the indices. Second thing that's happening, we have a historical nuclear deal with Iran. This is actually tough to say what's going to be the impact, because to have access to Iran's oil, well then, first of all, we have the inspectors of the UN that will come into Tehran around the month of December, inspect some sites, see if they respect their deal, and if they do so, well, first Iran will get access to some frozen assets, and then eventually will be allowed to have access to the central banking system, to the international monetary system, and also sell their oil. So I don't think that we're going to have eventually an oversupply of oil right like that with the Iranian nuclear deal, because there's so many hurdles that need to be met first. Now, with the situation here in the market, what do we have? Well, we have a pursuit of the rebound. I think investors are encouraged by the prospect of an Iranian deal, and also encouraged by the fact that they believe that even if there's some problems with the Greek government, that the fact that the Greek government is facing a Greek exit out of the Eurozone, that eventually the parliaments are going to find a compromise and pass those austerity measures. So we have the Nasdaq that pursues its rally, the Dow Jones that pursues its rally, and also the TSX as well. Actually, on the TSX, this rally here, there's one particular sector which is the leader on that rally, and that sector is the energy sector. Oil remains flat, even with the Iranian deal. And if we take a look at the energy sector, it's neutral. However, we have been on MarketGurus.tv proactive in closing all of our short positions in the energy sector. Why? Because we believe that this rebound in the energy sector could bring the sector towards at least 212 points. And this is by putting a Fibonacci retracement from that top to that bottom. We believe that the 23.6% that around 23.6% retracement around 206 points could be easily met, could easily reach that, and the next one becomes at 212. And the reason why though is because we have had such a massive sell-off in the last few days. Right now we have a wave of buyers that's coming in. We're starting to have some breakouts in the energy sector. So we decided to close a lot of our short positions. And let's say the sector pursues its rebound first towards 206 and next toward 212, 215, which is our target that we have on MarketGurus.tv. Well, then if ever we have another decline after that, we'll be able to add a new short position on the energy sector. But right now on this rebound, we believe it's a rebound that could bring the sector slightly higher. So this is why we decided to close several of our short positions. I'll give you an example. For instance, Kelt Exploration was recommended as a short on MarketGurus.tv on June 8th. Today, the stock is clearly reversing its downward trend, so we decided to close that short position instead of waiting for the stock to break 908. Western Energy Services, same scenario as well, has clearly reversed its downward trend since we have recommended that stock as a short here. So we decided also to close that positions on Western Energy Services. That doesn't mean that we might not short it at a later time, but right now it's a moment to close that position. Now, for those of you who want to buy some stocks in the energy sector, take into account that it's a first movement. So go in gradually. What I mean by that is that you should not open full position. Let's take a look at some breakouts that we have in the sector. For instance, let's say Candleston Drilling. So Candleston Drilling, it's a breakout there, right? Where's your exit point? Your exit point is below that support, so below $4. You have to get out. Now, what is the target in that stock? Well, towards 457. So there's not much potential towards 457, but you can start building up your position. If the stock stabilizes at 457 and start another breakout then higher than 457, you might increase your exposure. But right now, go in gradually. The other statement I said yesterday is that the strength of yesterday's rebound, the pursuit of yesterday's rebound was going to be determined by how the earnings seasons play out. Today we had great earnings from JP Morgan's, and great earnings from Johnson & Johnson, and also a great earnings from Wells Fargo. So those are also something that is helping the markets to pursue its rebound. Now let's take a look at some questions here. We have one question from Isabel about Knight Therapeutics. You bought at 726 last week. Can I wait $8 for taking a profit? Yes, you should wait towards $8 to take a profit. $8 will be this former support there. I think you got in 726. Oh, you got in the second movement. Great job you got in there on Knight Therapeutics. Now Knight Therapeutics, if we take a look at this here, $8. It's a great target because if you put a Fibonacci retracement, $8 corresponds to the 38.2% retracement. So yes, $8, 786, 790 will be the point where you should actually take some profit. The thing is that it's close to be overbought for Knight Therapeutics. So if you're panicking today, Isabel, or you want to be quick to take some profit, I would say during the day you could do so. But $8, I think it's a target that could be reached on Knight Therapeutics. But if it reaches 795, 796 or something, I think you should also be willing to take some profit at Knight Therapeutics as well on that stock. You did a good trade on that one, Isabel. Good job. Now, is the movement in the energy stock believable for the next few days? Well, Sam, as I said, it's a movement that we have in the sector. So far, most of the breakouts don't offer a 10 to 15% potential, right? A lot of those breakouts offer really limited potential. We just saw, for instance, Candleston Drilling from 423 to 457. It's not 10%, but that's the potential you have. This is why you should build up your position on a stock like that. Kelt Exploration, well, you know that there's a target at 918. So if you're buying some position on Kelt Exploration today, right now, exit point is not too far, $8. You know that at 921, this is the target where you're going to have a pause on that stock. And then if we stabilize at $9 and break out again, you'll be able to increase your exposure more, but at least you'll get in earlier on a stock like Kelt Exploration. A stock like 7 Generations Energy, VII on the TSX, well, you see there's all the resistance that's $17. So are you going to get in on a stock at $16.55 knowing that $17 there's a resistance? If you're in for the medium to long term, you might be, but you know, and the thing is that your exit point is not too far away, $15.54. but that's the conditions that you have right now. So it's not a situation where the sector is, or the stocks are in a situation where you can have a 10 to 15% potential on those stocks. The upward potential remains limited because the energy sector took a big hit in the last few days, folks. And so far, this rebound that we have continues to bring the sector within its sideways formation, within its downward corridor, I mean. So if ever this rebound continues, we know that it could continue towards there. So there's some money to be made, but opening a lot of full position right now, I think it's kind of risky. You can go in gradually, close all those long positions that you're opening today if ever the sector goes below 194, and around 212. This is the target that you have to take some profits on the positions you have today. If you want to have access to all the breakouts that we have on the TSX, on New York, on NASDAQ, on the energy sector, you can make the free trial of marketgurus.tv. We do have today several breakouts, and if ever the sector maintains its upward momentum, we might even consider to recommend a long position in our analyst choice portfolio. Now, hi Chris, unfortunately we never got your answer to my question regarding what should our portfolio cash weighting be, some ideas. Yes, well Bear, yesterday we had a technical problem with our show, so the show was cut short. I'm sorry for that. Now, there's no clear-cut answer to that. For instance, today on marketgurus.tv, with several of our short positions that we have closed in the energy sector, right now we have a weighting of about 80% in cash. So it's a big portion of cash that we have right now in our analyst shares portfolio, 80%. And with this 80%, what we're going to do, we're going to find new opportunities to allocate more of our positions. For instance, whenever we have the NASDAQ that can make a new high, then we might feel comfortable to recommend a lot of full position on the NASDAQ. On the Dow Jones, if ever we have the Dow Jones that can break that top here, we might feel more comfortable to recommend full position. So there's no clear-cut percentage of cash allocation that you should have. Usually when markets are kind of risky, uncertain, usually to have an allocation of 50% in cash is kind of appropriate. And throughout this neutral formation on the markets, though, our strategy on marketgurus.tv has been, first of all, to not recommend full position, because usually a full position is a position of $10,000. On most of those cycles that we had on the American markets, we have recommended half positions, so positions of $5,000. So we had a lot of cash left. And also, the thing you should also consider is that as long as we remain within this big neutral cycle in the indices, though, opening a lot of full position either on the upside or on the downside is you're getting stuck, right? So I think it will be clearer to open more full position or to have less allocation in cash whenever we have the Dow Jones that can go below this point, 17,524, and to have more positions, long positions, whenever we have the Dow Jones that can break out 18,254.
Find answers to your questions by emailing your host at btm@decisionplus.com.
5 good reasons to manage your investments with National Bank Direct Brokerage. Commission fees fixed at $9.95 anytime for all clients and starting at only $6.95 for active investors. No administrative fees if you hold at least $20,000 in your accounts. Registered accounts available in U.S. currency. Powerful tools to help you manage your portfolio. Award-winning customer service and satisfaction levels amongst the highest in the industry. To learn more, visit nbdb.ca or call us now.
Real-time coaching has been created. We search and classify critical reports and technical movements. You can visualize or hear the best buying and selling opportunities. Get real-time advice all day long and 3 live coaching shows per day. Let us do the work and save your time for trading. Try marketgurus.tv free without obligation for 10 days in the menus above.
So welcome back. We have one question here from Michelle. Is it a good entry point for Bombardier? Michelle, I understand why you always want to acquire Bombardier, because Bombardier, we know it's a crown jewel of Quebec. We're all proud of what Bombardier did. Now, Bombardier has a lot of challenges. right? This decline here was due to a possible delay in their global jet plane. We know they already had some delay for the C series. Now, if this is going to happen for the global, this is going to be really negative for Bombardier, because competitors such as Embraer are actually going to step in and get their market share. So it's not positive for Bombardier. Now, even technically speaking, too, that stock is not a buy at all. There's still that downward trend that is there. For me, Bombardier, as long as it doesn't go above 225, I'm not considering that stock as a buy at all, because 225 has been an important point since 2015, right? And now we're lower than that. So getting at this point on Bombardier, I think it's not appropriate. Yes, we have volumes that are declining, but so far the technical indicators, the histogram is not clear if it's heading towards positive territory. Stochastics is not clear enough. We need to have a clearer stochastics on that. And even if we do have a wave of buyers that bring Bombardier towards 225, I will not get in the first movement. I'd like to get in the second movement higher than 225 on Bombardier, because a lot of investors have lost confidence in Bombardier, and especially with all the delays that are coming in, it's something that's going to have a negative impact if you're buying Bombardier right now. So you rather be safe and get in Bombardier when the right momentum is in place, and for me it's around 225 on the reversal of this downward trend on Bombardier. Do not get in a stock that still maintains its downward trend and that still has some problem, especially with their jet. So this is something that's really negative for Bombardier. Now, what is the symbol opposite of HVU? Well, there are two ones. You have HVI on the TSX, and you also have XIV on the NASDAQ. So those are the two ETF that you have, XIV or HVI. So those are the two ETF that are the opposite of HVU. Now, Sal, would Ford be a good entry point on this short-term downtrend trading above 1470? So let's take a look at this, Sal, sorry. We have this downward corridor that is there on Ford. So why would you consider to get in on Ford now? Oof. Okay. There's some buyer's momentum definitely on that stock. The thing is that if you're getting in on Ford now, I've not watched really what the company have done in terms of their earnings, in terms of their auto sales. Are they doing better than their competitors? So far, Ford, it has the upward momentum on its side. Getting in right now on Ford, you have to make sure that you get out below 1440. There's no excuse. Below 1440, get out on Ford. That's the strategy. Now, the risk that I see is that you might be stuck there. At $15, we might have a pause on a stock like Ford. The thing that I love is that we have the stochastics here that's towards 30%. So the wave of buyers is consistent. We have the histogram also that's tilting towards positive territory, which is also a good thing. And I think if ever we have, I don't know what could propel Ford higher. Maybe it's their sales. I don't know when they're going to release their earnings. So maybe you could take a look at that when they're going to release their earnings. But so far, as I said, you're getting in right now. You're getting in on the weakness. 1450 is your exit point. The risk is that we might pause around $15 on the stock like Ford. So the fact that there's not too much of a loss potential, the fact that the momentum indicators are positive, stochastics and histogram, for me, I might consider that stock as a buy for today for a stock like Ford. Now, folks, I want to show you here the best day trade of the day. It has been Clean Energy Fuels. The stock did a pretty nice performance. 2-3 entry point there. The next entry point is at 695. There's also Tech Resources, NAT, sorry, that also has been really nice. 1, 2, 3 entry point on NAT on New York. And Tech Resources. I know yesterday Tech Resources was also active. Today it continues to remain active. Great entry point there. Another one there on Tech Resources. Don't forget that the target on Tech Resources is 1311 towards the 30-day moving average on Tech Resources. So that stock continues to be active. If you bought that stock yesterday and continue to hold on to it, great job. If you want to buy it today, 1311 is the target that you have on a stock like that. So folks, today we have markets that are pursuing the rally, encouraged by the good earnings from JP Morgan, Johnson & Johnson, and Wells Fargo. Can this trend continues in the next few days? It will all depend on how the American companies' earnings are. Now, the situation in Greece has to be watched because tomorrow they will have to vote on the measures. If they don't vote on the measures, the rebound that we had for the last few days might deflate. So this is why it's important that those of you who want to open some positions on the energy sector, make sure that you're going gradually and make sure that you also put your stop loss below the support on those sectors, and take into account that on most of those positions that are breaking out, you don't have a 10% potential. You have a limited potential of 5 or 6% or even 3% sometimes, but it's a moment to start to build up your position. And as I said, 212 is the target that we have on the energy sector on the Canadian side. So I wish you all a good trading and see you tomorrow on the Swing Trading Show.